Hi, Imagine Cup judges. We're Team AwesomeSauce.
Hi,
I'm Anit.
I'm Gilad Gray,
I'm Cobin Dopkeen.
and our fourth member, Nadia Rodriguez, can't be here tonight.
Which is rather unfortunate.
Tonight we're going to present to you our game, Nanobots.
Nanobots!
Anit, where did the idea for Nanobots come from?
Well, we decided to take a look at the theme of using technology to solve the world's toughest problems, and the area in which we decided to apply this was medicine and combating disease. One of the biggest problems in medicine today is the precision and accuracy of treatments, because many procedures require precision on a very small scale that today's tools have a lot of difficulty with.
Oh, that's right. So we arrived at the concept of nanobots, which are these microscopic robots equipped to combat diseases and heal the body from within.
The visual feel of Nanobots is very important. It's a top-down arcade-style shooter that's very fast-paced and fluid. It's bright and cartoony, but it's also very sharp. And the best part is that it's really simple to pick up and engaging to play. We don't want it to be just another 2D shooter.
Thanks, Cobin. Now, Gilad, what are some key features of our game?
Well, any part of the game can be single or multiplayer. It scales flawlessly. We've got two gameplay modes. There's a campaign, which is not in the demo, although we'll talk about that soon, and there's the Petri dish, which is a huge circle, like a giant arena, in which we can host a variety of types of games, from a free-for-all to a capture the flag to a team game, any sort of thing. It's an emphasis on fast, crazy gameplay in this huge circle. So here we are at the main menu. Let's take a look at Petri dish mode and some of the features of the demo.
So here on the main menu, you see we have Quick Start, Co-op, and Versus modes. Co-op is an arena where you are fighting either by yourself or with other players to combat diseases. In Versus mode, you're playing against other players controlling other nanobots, and Quick Start mode is a sort of free-for-all.
So let's go into co-op mode. You can see that it brings up the Xbox guide to allow players to sign in to their accounts, and then lets them select weapons for the game. All of these modes take place in the Petri dish, and they're all a score-based victory. You earn points for dealing damage and eradicating viruses or destroying other nanobots. The first player to 5,000 points wins. So here in the game you can see we have two enemy types. There's these green flu viruses and the pink swine flu viruses. The green ones are crawlers. They just go towards the nearest enemy moving slowly and deal very little damage if they on contact. The swine flu guys, however, are chargers, and any enemy within range they will dive at, dealing a lot of damage if they hit.
We have 6 basic weapon types. We have the pill launcher, which shoots pills out in a rapid stream. We have the shotgun, which literally shoots syringes at your enemy. The particle accelerator, which just shoots a very focused blast. The freeze blaster, which freezes anything on contact and slows them so that they can't chase you. Dr. Molotov's cocktail, which is just a bottle of elixir that explodes after you throw it and dissolves all of your enemies. And the meta spray, which is a hose of medication that just, well, sprays. We spent a considerable amount of time fine-tuning each weapon and balancing them against each other. There's a lot of work to be done, especially since we are adding at least 4 more weapons before the game is done.
Let me bring your attention to the HUD on the screen. At the very top is a layer indicating the player's number as well as a certain indicating color. And then we have 3 bars. The first bar is colored green and indicates the player's health. The second bar is blue and indicates the amount of battery that the player has. This battery affects their use of boost and shield. And the last bar we have is red in color, and this indicates weapon heat. Underneath those we have a crosshair and a green circle indicating the number of viruses or nanobots that the player has defeated, as well as a red skull and a number next to that including the number of times the player has been defeated. Underneath that in yellow we have the player's score.
You'll notice that each player has a unique color. We've got the good old cornflower blue, pleasant spring green, refreshing medium orchid, and oddly enough, Peru. No, it's not the country. It's actually a beautiful shade of orange. Thanks, default XNA colors. We also have this very interesting dynamic camera that adapts to the location of players when there's more than one on the screen to keep as many of them visible as possible. And then as players go off the screen, you'll notice these arrows on the sides of the screen. You can see them for enemies at all times, the little red ones. The larger colored ones are for players when they are not visible. This is to help navigation. and bring you back into visibility.
Now that we've showed you parts of the demo of Nanobots, let's discuss where we want to take Nanobots in the near future.
We'll be adding a campaign to the final game, a full story. It'll play as a series of missions in which your nanobot is deployed into a body with a specific goal to accomplish. We've got this big list of goals from eradication of viruses to chasing down blood clots, unclogging arteries, all sorts of things. The premise is that nanobots are a new technology, but they're still very experimental. And that the better a nanobot performs during one of these missions, the more government funding the nanobot project will receive. This funding can then be used to permanently upgrade the nanobot or to buy new equipment, which leads to the next thing that we'll be adding, which is in between levels of the campaign or waves of the Petri dish, you get to upgrade your nanobot using money you collect during gameplay.
The government funding you receive can be spent on various upgrades for your nanobot, including things to either the chassis, which could make the nanobot stronger or faster, or you could also spend it on weapons.
Every weapon can be upgraded. There's several different stats each weapon has that improve its abilities and its effectiveness in combat. And then the most exciting part about that is the ability to customize what abilities your nanobot actually has. The triggers and bumpers on the controller are actually linked to slots in the nanobot into which a weapon or active ability can be placed, and they can be changed in between levels to different weapons. This allows for a huge range of playstyles and strategic combinations, which keeps gameplay very exciting. So the campaign and upgrade store are the main components that we'll be adding for the full game, but you can expect at least 4 more weapon types and a whole mess of enemies and bosses to play with.
What we've discussed in this presentation is not by any means the limit of what we have in store for you. We have many more exciting things that we'd like to keep a little secret, to keep you wanting more once the time comes.
There are also a number of other features in the demo that there's just not time to cover in this video. You'll have to play around and see. Read the attached instructions file, explains things much more in depth. Yes.
So have fun with our game, and thanks for taking the time to listen to us.
Thank you very much. Good night.